I am so excited to talk to both of you and to hear your stories and how you founded Girl Gang Wellness and learn everything about it. But just take me back a bit. How did each of you get here?
We were actually both teachers in our former lives. We actually met in the College of Education when we were in college and both went to teach in the classroom. I taught in the classroom for 14 years. I actually left the classroom because my husband was traveling so much and decided to take a step back from teaching kids, but then it really just led me to teach women, so adults, a different subject. Instead of teaching language arts, reading, and math, I started teaching women macros, whole food nutrition, and fitness.
Yeah, well,
So,
it sounds like your background really set you up to be excellent at what you do.
yeah.
What about you, Angie? Some similar story?
Same. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a former classroom teacher as well. And when we were trying to get pregnant, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. And then we got pregnant with our identical twin boys,
Oh,
and I stayed at home with them.
I love it.
And, I started doing a program that I wholeheartedly believed in. And at that point, I was kind of like, I mean, it did change my life. And coming
Yeah.
with that education background, like Gina was saying, I knew that I had the gift,
Yeah.
that I could share it with others. And I could still stay at home and be at home, with my boys
Yeah.
and still be able to show up for them. But at the same time, I feel like I was kind of like losing myself. I was Parker and Preston's mom, and my family will always come first. But I have something that I would love to share with others.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people and so many women need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate so much to that too. Like my kids are, well, they are getting older and then I had the baby. But um I was feeling that like this my role was changing and it left me feeling like a little bit adrift. Can either of you
Right.
relate to that? Or Gina, did you feel that way as well?
Definitely felt that way. I when I left the classroom was staying home with the girls, just like Angie said, like you feel like you kind of like you have a purpose to be a mom, but then you feel like you
Yeah.
kind of lost your purpose to your community, to like those around you. And so it was just nice to find this program that you could like say, this is for me, but this is also for other women. I'm a mom at this time. I'll always be a mom. That's my number one job.
Hmm.
But also, like, this feels so right to bring this into my daily, like, activities, my daily duties is to like just teach women that there's a better way than what we all learned. I mean, I know Angie and
Yeah.
I came from, it was the less you eat, the less you weigh,
Mm.
right? Don't you dare lift a barbell or a dumbbell because then you're going to look bulky. And
Right.
get on that treadmill for 1 to 2 hours if you're really wanting to fit into your favorite pair of jeans. And so that's what we were used to. And then we found this other way, and we were like, we have to share this. We have to tell people about this because they're doing it the wrong way, just like we were.
Mm. Hmm. I think so many people can relate to that. And I saw something about what were you talking? Maybe I think you were talking about how a lot of women like they undereat all week and then kind of binge on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I've heard about that a lot. Like different people have said that on the podcast. And I always in my head am like, undereat, good Lord. Like that's not something I've ever
No. Yeah.
thought about. But I did a poll on my stories about that. And yeah, like that is a thing that a lot of women are doing. They're going through their day and just not eating well until the weekend comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really fascinating to me.
Or
But
they're saving their calories. They're like,
okay,
I'm
yeah,
going to save my calories. And I'm not going to eat all day, or I'm going to barely eat. And then I'm going to save my calories because I want this, or I'm going to, run more or work out more just
right.
because of this. And it's just trying to get away from that toxic mentality that a lot of us grew up with. And I mean, I love my
Exactly.
mom, and I are so close, but I mean, I remember her doing all the toxic things, the cabbage soup and the special K and all the things.
Yeah,
And you're like, well, this isn't right,
right.
And
Yeah.
so just it's a different shift, definitely. And then when Gina and I started this, we knew that we wanted to share it that's sustainable and attainable. Like you can't
Yeah.
white knuckle everything. You can't just your whole entire life
Yeah.
only eat. I mean, in a dream world, yeah, let's eat everything that comes from the ground or has a mother. And but then we're like, no, there's time to fit in all of that. And that's why I think our clients are so successful
Mm,
and why that 80-20 approach works so well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angie, you had a story that I really related to. You were talking about how you have largely just been thin, skinny for most of your life. And then that was just kind of who you were until it kind of wasn't.
Mhm.
And I relate to that. Like my bone structure, my body type is just very small. It's always been small. And then I turned 40, and it wasn't like I was just massively overweight at that point. It was just my my belly looked different, the back of my arms looked different, but I hadn't changed anything. And so yeah, talk to me about your story there.
Yeah, and I feel like we were talking about the whole identity. I have always been thin, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's so hard." I mean, but then like you were saying, after I had my boys, like it wasn't going back like it did before.
Yeah.
And then as we age and get closer to midlife,
Mm-hmm.
things start to shift, and
Yeah.
you can't just add an extra mile here and there. Or you can't just like skip lunch and have those same results. But I think I was in a bad place. I did a bone density test, and my doctor was like, this is a problem. And I think I had stress fractures in my foot, a stress fracture in my pelvis, because I was doing hard hit intensive workouts at a place for like I was doing it 6, 7 days a week. And
Wow.
I was under eating, just always trying to chase that former version of myself.
Gotcha.
And then I started doing this program, trusted it, and I leaned out. I got stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I healed my relationship with food, and I had a lot of food guilt, like
Okay.
obsessing about it, like remembering going out to dinner and not fully being present and always focusing on how many calories were around us. So I couldn't even tell you what the conversation people were having at the table. And that
Yeah.
makes me really sad.
Yeah.
And I missed out on so many things, like when my boys were younger, like, watching them eat ice cream and be like, okay, well, I can't eat the ice cream if I ate that.
Mm.
And so I feel like this program and going through it and then being able to help other women who's done the same thing. I didn't come to the program with a lot of a weight to lose. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's also some people doubted that, like, why are you doing this? And it
Okay.
wasn't to lose weight, it was actually to heal and to get stronger both mentally and physically.
Tell me about your story, Gina. Was your relationship with your body and food, has that always been pretty above board and healthy?
I'd say, I've always been into working out and eating healthy, but growing up just through, magazines and TV shows and movies, it was always if you're wanting this certain body type, then you need to eat less and work out more. And I did that. I mean,
Mm.
I did that religiously. I would walk 20,000 steps a day. I would step in place in the
Mm.
classroom. I would walk on my recess duty. I would walk at my lunchtime. I would go to the gym afterwards and do a aerobics class. I mean, I remember taking my lunch as a teacher, and I would take a Cliff Bar and an apple, and that would be my lunch for the day. That's not that's not fueling anything. And then dinner time would come around, and I would
Right.
eat on a toddler plate just like my girls would. So I was just rationing out my food. And that worked until it didn't. And right before I turned 40, I started tracking the macros. I started fueling my body with more protein and whole food nutrition and making sure that I'm getting enough calories in. And I started trading cardio for weights. And that's when I saw my body shift
Uh-huh.
in ways I never thought could become. I mean, I had ab muscles. I mean, my body composition completely changed. I had so much more energy. I was sleeping
Mm.
better. I didn't feel guilty if I, had a second helping of something, because I knew my body needed it to do
Yeah.
those strength training workouts. So it definitely, I went from a mindset of not really a healthy mindset. And I have two girls. I have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old, and those are not the healthiest habits to model for girls. And now I'm so
Right.
happy that
Right.
over these last almost 8 years, I have shifted that, and they see me fueling my body. They see me working out. They
Mm.
see me lifting weights. They see me doing the things that make me have more of a longevity and a healthy lifestyle
Yeah.
than just looking good in a bathing suit.
Right. Oh, I love that. Okay, I love your message that there are no bad foods or you can't fall off the wagon, because I think that that's a real mindset shift, because so many of us, we're like, oh, it's January 1st. And as soon as you have a bad day, it's easy to just throw the whole thing out. So
Yeah.
talk to me in your program how that shifts.
I think that we also, from the very beginning, we ask our clients, like, it, it is appealing. Like, you want to let go, like Gina was saying, in a swimsuit and everything. But if you dig deeper,
Mhm.
your why is so much deeper than that, right? It's
Yeah.
to be able to have the energy to run around with your kids or your grandkids. My boys are 16 and a half, and they're going to leave to go to college in a year and a half. And I want to be able to travel with my husband and to be able to watch their kids grow up and have all the energy, like I was saying, to chase them around and everything. And so if they dig deeper, it's deeper than that, what they look in a swimsuit. It's all of that. And I feel like that's what people want, and they need. And like you're saying, the reason people, quote, fall off the wagon, there's no real wagon to fall off if you're doing something sustainable. Now, if you're
Mhm.
like, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories and I'm going to work out every day, yeah, you're going to fall off that wagon,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're not going to have the birthday cake at your kid's birthday, or the pizza night, or when you go and meet your girls for a night out. You're not going to be able to enjoy that, and you're definitely going to fall off that wagon. But if you don't white knuckle it and you do it with a sustainable approach by just fitting in those workouts, focusing on your water, focusing on that 80-20 whole food nutrition, but also leaving room for that 20% to have those things that you love,
Yeah.
there's no wagon to fall off, and you're going to
Mm.
be more successful. And that's what we've been talking to. We just got off a call with our VIP ladies that have been with us for, some of them even, up
Oh,
to 7
wow.
years now. And they don't feel like it come January that they have to, sure, they're like, hey, I need to be a little tighter with my nutrition. I've had a little too many Christmas cookies, but they don't feel like they need to do anything drastic because they have the core strategies that work.
Yeah. Yeah, that is amazing. So, okay, I have two questions I want to talk about really quick. But one, let's start with first, is just for a lot of the women who are listening, they're in their 40s, they're in perimenopause. So you have the fluctuating hormones and the slower metabolism, and then, of course, the inflammation, which is what I was really struggling with. So, how do these kind of impact your program and losing weight and building muscle and all of that?
Yeah, it is tricky. Perimenopause, menopause, she not nice. And once we hit
Exactly.
that, once we get there, what we did before just doesn't work anymore. And there's a
Right.
few reasons. Our estrogen dips, our cortisol increases, our stress hormone. And when our stress hormone increases, that really does a number on us as far as our sleep, our stress, our energy. And we start seeing that midlife muffin top appear. And
Yeah.
it's from that high stress. It's from the estrogen decrease. It's from all those hormones shifting. And so
Hmm.
it's not that people are doing anything wrong. They're doing what are doing what they did that used to work. But you have to flip the script when your hormones come into play. And so that's where we bring in strategies to help them really dial in to balance the hormones. So we bring in strategies such as you have to increase your protein. Protein is key
Hmm.
during perimenopause and menopause. You have to have that high protein. It's
Hmm.
satiating and it helps with muscle recovery and just building muscle overall. We want strong muscles because as we age, our bone density decreases and our bones become
Hmm.
brittle and fragile, and we have to have those muscles to protect those bones. So it's all like one whole story together. And not only is tracking the macros, tracking the protein, but then we're also saying lift weights. You have to lift weights. If you're
Hmm.
not lifting weights, you're doing yourself a disservice. You are literally not protecting those bones as they lose the density. We give them a fasting protocol. Not everybody's fasting protocol is the same. Some women can fast for 16
Yeah.
hours and some can only fast for 12. And it really depends on your stress level and your thyroid,
Yeah.
and your cortisol. And so we go over that with our clients, and we say, if you're having high stress and you're not sleeping well, then you need to back up maybe to a 12-hour fast. So there's all these different strategies that we put into the program, and we teach them so that we're balancing their hormones. And when that happens, their metabolism increases. When they start fueling their body and fueling their hormones properly, it's like the magic potion. It's like the magic sauce. It's like all of a sudden their metabolism is on fire, and they start feeling just so much better. They have the energy, they're sleeping so much better, and they see the difference in not only their weight, but their body composition.
Okay, so now I want to ask about macros specifically. I see it a lot on Instagram and social media, and I've actually even had some women on who focus on that. And every time it just goes over my head. I'm like, I don't know. It sounds so confusing and overwhelming. And I'm sure it's not. But for other women who are listening who think that I do, and they're just like, I can't, break it down for us really simply so that we can get on board.
Okay, so when we came to the program, we had zero clue what a macro is. I was literally Googling macros because all that we were ever taught was, calories,
Calories,
right?
right?
So macros are essentially the calories, but they're divided up into everything. If you flip over anything or look up anything you eat, there are three macronutrients. There are protein, carbs, and fats.
Okay.
And women and men need all of them. Gone are the days where it's like, do not eat carbohydrates. The diets that were like no carbs.
Yeah.
You need carbs. You need things for, for certain functions in your body, right? And so that's what we teach our clients. And your macros, Chelsea, would be different than my macros, different from
Okay.
Gina's macros. Everybody has their own specific macro needs to help them burn fat, to help them lean out, to help them have the energy they need to keep up with their daily activities. And so that's what macros are. And so basically, if I was just tracking calories, I could hit my calorie intake every day by eating chocolate chip cookies and pizza and milk duds, but that's going to not give me the right amount of, it's not going to give me any protein probably. It might give me a little bit, but it's not going to give me what I need to fuel my body and boost my metabolism.
Yeah.
So macros are essentially a tool to make sure that you are, eating enough of the right nutrients
Okay.
to support what your body needs.
So
And that's what we teach our clients. And we teach them the importance of why you need carbs, why you need fats, why you need protein. And then we help those clients by giving them suggestions like, hey, Chelsea, this looks great, but you were a little low in carbs. Let's try adding, something like a sweet potato or an apple or something like that to help you get in those carbs. Or, you're a little low in fats. Try adding a half avocado to your, to your salad or to your eggs or to boost up your fats, and teaching you about how important each of those are.
Okay. So there's probably like a learning period where you're kind of tracking what you're having and then figuring out what those macros are. Okay.
Yes. And then we're checking in with you each and every day for feedback and answering all your questions. So it's not like just we're throwing you to the wolves and being like, hey, eat your macros. But we're actually telling you and giving you that customized nutrition plan just for you so that you can fuel your body, so that you can kickstart your metabolism, so you can start putting on that lean muscle mass that we all want.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. And I'm guessing that just like all the things that we've been talking about, the under eating, the too much restriction, I'm guessing all of those things are affecting our hormones. Is that correct?
It really
100%.
does.
Okay.
Yeah, we see, it's crazy. We see a lot of women who are under eating, and then they say, my sleep is awful. Well, you can't sleep at night if you're not fueled properly. And then they say, I can't lift heavier and I can't seem to get through a workout. Well, you're not fueling your body right properly. You're not fueling it with enough. So it all works together. We have so many women come to us who are under eating like we were before. And they are so scared to start fueling their bodies with more of the right
Gotcha.
combination,
Yeah.
we just say, trust the process, trust us. Your body
Uh-huh.
is kind of like your metabolism is a car. And if you have an empty tank, your car is not going to move. Your car's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work. It's not going to go into motion. That's the same as your metabolism. If you don't have the proper fuel, your metabolism is going to stall out. It's not going to move. It's not going to burn. And that's when you're in this cycle of not fueling your body with enough, your metabolism just says, I can't do this. Starts storing fat instead, starts storing what you are
Yeah.
giving it. So
Okay.
so really properly fueling it with enough carbohydrates, enough fats, and enough proteins, that's when they see their metabolism shift and turn into more of a fat burning machine.
Yeah.
Also, some of your ethos, I think, is it's about like you're traveling, you're having wine, you're
Yes.
living life, and yet still staying healthy and feeling good. And so talk to me about helping women find that sweet spot and still reach their goals. Is that possible?
Yes. And that's why Gina and I were so drawn to this because we did the program and we were like, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do the program, but we're going to do it our way. I think that's why clients are drawn to us because if you're trying to get in a bikini muscle building contest, we're probably not the coaches for you. There's probably someone out there that's like that. If you're the coach that wants to live that 80-20 lifestyle, have a glass of wine when you're out at girls' night, or,
Yeah.
have dessert when you go out, we're your girls because we're going to teach you that. And when we travel, we're not tracking, we're still being mindful. And we teach our clients that, like, hey, listen, if you're planning to go out to eat, and you're gonna, indulge a little bit more, then make sure that you are hitting you're breaking your fast with a good amount of protein to keep you
Okay.
satiated through the day. Make sure you're getting in your steps. Make sure that you're drinking your water. Make sure that you're getting in that quick 30-minute workout that you can do right in your living room. Or if you're traveling and you can't get to a gym or you can't work out, that you're, doing something, you're taking a little walk down the beach, or, maybe you're skiing or whatever you're doing. And because Gina and I would never do anything, and we travel together all the time,
Oh,
that we could not enjoy ourselves, because I never want to look back and be like, oh yeah, I went and had this great vacation, but I didn't eat anything other than grilled chicken and broccoli. And
yeah.
to us, that was so sad. And I think teaching women that it's okay to balance it all out and you can still get those results by living that 80-20 lifestyle,
Yeah.
and that you don't have to outwork anything that you ate the night before, or come back and do some crazy crash. I'm going to not eat hardly anything the week I come back from vacation. And I think it's just getting them out of that toxic mentality that I feel like we as women have, and just like breaking up with, and the first thing that ladies want to do is hop on that scale. And that's one of the first things that we tell our clients, hey, don't get on that scale. Just put it to the side. That doesn't measure anything. It doesn't measure your success. It's just literally your relationship or your relation with gravity with this little thing. And I was a like obsessive weigher. Like I would move my scale around the room in the morning, then I'd weigh after I ate, and it was bad. And now I don't even, yeah, I mean, I don't ever get on the scale because I don't need to. I just can judge by my energy and the way I'm feeling, the way I'm sleeping, and the way my clothes are fitting. And that's what we tell women. Those non-scale victories are so much more than that number on the scale.
Absolutely. Gosh, when you're talking about it all, you just are really like taking in the things that we grew
Yeah.
up with and put
I
upon
know.
ourselves. It's brutal, isn't it?
So sad. It is
It
so sad.
is. It is. I want to ask each of you just a little bit personally, perimenopause, your body changing, 40s, what have you guys noticed? What's been your experience?
I would say the experience, it's been gradual. It wasn't something that just hit me when I woke up, one morning. Thankfully, I, been consistent with working out, lifting weights, fueling my body with what it needs. I would say what's really been difficult is sleep.
Mm,
Is gone are the days where I could sleep in, first of all. I cannot do that
right.
anymore. It is so funny because I'm like, if I'm not in bed by 9 o'clock, I don't know if I'll be able to have a good night's sleep. So it's like 9 p.m. I have to go to bed, and even if we're like, I'm like, let's have dinner at 6 so that maybe I can get in bed by 9, because I just know that sleep is so important and I don't want that to suffer because it's just not like it used to be. And if I go to sleep too late,
Yeah.
I just know I'm not going to have a good night's sleep. And that's something that I never really struggled with before at all. And then I did have some,
Yeah.
points over the last couple of years where I had some thinning hair. That was,
Hmm.
defeating, because I knew that,
That'll weigh on you. Yeah.
that really does, that you hear about women whose hair thins during perimenopause and menopause,
Hmm.
and that started with me. So I really needed to, add some supplements into my day. That way I could
Hmm.
replenish any thinning. And then I also had definitely some hormonal acne and some skin issues. It's nothing we're doing wrong. It's just part of our
Hmm.
hormone shifting, and
Yeah.
embracing is the only thing you can do, but then also finding, solutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I talk about that a lot. Like you have to take agency over your experience and not just let it happen to you.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
What about you, Angie? What have you noticed?
So for me, it definitely was that like starting to get that menopausal middle, and then
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, I got to do something about
Hmm.
this. For me, definitely like Gina was saying, the sleep and the like my hair is straight, but I waking up and I'm like, oh, really? I have a perm now under here, so the night sweats, I think that,
Yeah.
well, one minute I'm like freezing cold and the next minute I'm like, it is so hot in here. I literally have to strip down. I think definitely that. I think another thing with me is my cycles, where I was religiously every 28, 29 days, where I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, wait a minute, stay 14 now, like, and then so that has definitely been
Yeah.
off, which is fun. And,
Oh, it's exciting,
when
isn't it?
it's so fun, it's like, surprise, she's back. And always at the best time, like, oh,
Oh,
I'm about to go out of town or something like that. But I also think the duration of my cycles definitely shifted for me, where I was barely 2 days to, hey, it's going like a week here now. It's funny because I know we look at our spouses and we're just like, nothing, they're not experiencing any of this, and I'm like, okay. So we had the children and we went through all that, and then we're like, oh, round two, something else is coming, which is a lot of fun. Also, maybe this is, maybe I'm just speaking for me, is one minute you're happy and the next minute I'm looking at my boys and I'm crying because they're leaving in a month and a half. But it could just be over anything, right? Like, or a commercial comes on the TV and you're like, why am I crying at that commercial? I've seen it 100 times, but it's so sad, It's like
hey, and I
it's
have
like a
teen boys too, and they are relentless, man. If you start crying at something like that, they are
I
going to
know.
mock you.
I know. And they're like, Mom, what's wrong? I'm like, but Jesus, I'm not going to be able to do this. And it's just the emotional roller coaster
Yeah,
of perimenopause and menopause is no joke.
it
And
is.
they're like, here she goes again. So I'm like, yeah, here she goes again, you know?
Yes.
So,
Thank you for sharing that, both of you.
yeah.
It seems like you already have one daughter who's left, but it seems like you are both kind of headed towards that empty nest. And how does that feel for you?
A little scared.
Yeah.
Once my oldest left for college, I kind of saw like this is going to go fast with my youngest daughter. It's going to come faster than I anticipate. And so I quickly decided I needed some hobbies. I committed to learning to play pickleball. I committed to learning to play mahjong, and I taught myself how to needlepoint. And all of these do sound like old lady activities and hobbies, but these are things that I knew that I could, have something to do once I am an empty nester. My husband is
Yeah.
still going to be working. He's not going to retire anytime soon. And I'll still have girl gang, and still be teaching women,
Yeah.
but I will be at home a lot by myself. And I wanted something that for myself that I could do just in anticipation of having an empty home. So I have slowly prepared myself just by adding in these things that I will be able to dive into when it is just my husband and I here at the house and both girls are gone, and hopefully have a lot of freedom to travel to go see them.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's very proactive and healthy. Good for you, Gina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about you, Angie?
So I haven't started those grandma hobbies like G has. But I have definitely started getting involved more in volunteer work and joining the Bible study and things,
Yeah.
or if there's a community where I feel like I'm going to be missing that a little
Yeah.
bit. I went with my husband and a few other people. I picked up a golf club. I haven't picked up a golf club, and my family is big into golf. Like
Okay.
my boys, I mean, obsessed, obsessed. And I thought, well, when they come home, they're going to want to play golf. So
Yeah.
mom's got to figure this out.
Yeah.
So my plan is to get really, really good so I can beat all of them. I think just finding community
Yeah.
and things like that, I think it's going to be hard because I've got twins, and
Yeah. They're leaving at the same
there was
time.
no slow launch. It's like
Yeah.
they both came at the same time and they were both going to leave at the same
Ooh.
time. And so I have told them that I'm going to move in with them and have like a little cot or a pallet at
Right.
college.
Absolutely right about the community piece. I think when we're in the throes of motherhood, it gets really easy. They just become our lives, you know. It's their activities and we're getting them to it and we're there for them. And then you realize pretty quickly that you've maybe accidentally isolated yourself a little
Yeah.
bit. So yeah, really
Yeah.
smart to get out there and start building those communities. So talk to us about how we can join yours.
Yeah. So right now we've actually taken our 6-week program and we've condensed it to 3 weeks. We're calling it like our 3-week intensive metabolic reset. The reason we condensed it to 3 weeks is it really only takes 21 days to form habits. And we are going to teach you these healthy habits over the 21 days so that not only are you seeing a difference and seeing results in those 3 weeks, but then everything accelerates after that when you have those strategies to continue. It's like a lifestyle. It's kind of an exclusive program. We don't do it all the time. Our next one is not until January. So right when everyone's ready to kind of like dial it in after the holidays. We have one coming up in January, and then it's usually about every other month of the year throughout that time. Follow us on Instagram. We are always talking about when our next 3-week round is going to be launching. We have a website, girlgangwellness.com. All the information's on there. And working with us is, like Angie said, we check in with you daily. We actually just got off, before we hopped on here with you, we had a call with our clients this morning, and it was great. So we keep in touch with our ladies daily. We hop on calls with them, and we really think that this is the answer to midlife weight loss and just really balancing those hormones and just feeling good again.
I loved having you both here. I'm so impressed with what you're doing. It makes me really happy to see women who are in our age group and they're changing lives and they're so passionate about what they do. So great job, girls. You're
Thank
doing
you.
really good work.
Thank you. It's been great chatting with you.
You too. I will link everything below so everyone can come find you and follow you and join your program. So yeah, I loved it and I hope we get to talk again.